My friends used to come over from club nights to come home and Q do a poem. So we have done this. Let's do this again. Ha! This is what we're going to do, Garmamie. This is what we're doing. Right. We're doing the introductory poem.
All right.
Okay? The first poem ever done on stage in Ottawa by Q. Okay? Ready? If I was a bird, I would fly through time. Since I am a bird, I would move in time. Since I am your bird, I'm a move in time. I'm a move in time. I'm a move in time. Time's moving and filling me with infinite possibilities. To destroy me is mission impossible. Take your knife and cut the water. You shall see me resume to my position. For your ideologies and mental bullets I shall reject. Heck, for I stand tall like the CN. For I stand tall like the CNN. See when time reverted to original position, and I freeze, and I freeze. And time cease like Arctic ice, ice, ice. When the Father himself can melt me, when his heat can bring me back to my first love and let me drum beat lyrics like Badu. A dooby dooby doo, dooby dooby doo. Do not mistake me for a puddle. Yeah. Do not mistake me for a puddle. Do not mistake I for a puddle. I am a pool of reflection. Look at me. Look at we. Look at I. You shall see the past struggles, the present strives, and the future triumphs. For in your eyes I metamorph in size. In your eyes I metamorph in size. In your eyes I metamorph in size. Like the butterfly, changing bodies, but spirit still flying high, 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 high. Like Zion, Zion. Hilltop is my resting home. Garden of all the lies meet the sunrise as it sets under the ocean, and I fall from the clouds. Drip drop, drip drop, drip drop. Quench your thirst. Let's move. We moving, we moving, we moving. What I'm doing now is I'm working on my dub poetry album called At Home. It's the post my book that I completed last year. The final chapter of that book was called Home, and I had this parentheses and 3 dots because I was like, where is that place? And it hadn't solidified yet. And so this album that I'm working on this summer is a dub poetry album called At Home, and because to me, home is where my heart is. And I finally feel I'm at a point in my life where my heart is in the right place. So it has nothing to do geographically or anything of that nature, but my heart's in my right place, so I feel like I'm home. So I'm working on that album. I'm using it as a foundation for an after-school program with a friend and I working on, and teaching the art of dub poetry, teaching the art of spoken word, and having a group of young women kind of find the strength within themselves, find their confidence to come together and work on something, stay away from the distraction, find an art that they're good at. It doesn't have to be the poetry. There can be someone in there that's a good visual artist. We'll need someone to design a CD cover. There could be someone in there that's good at making friends. We'll need someone to teach them business and marketing. So these are the things that I'm looking to do and forward the movement. This is the love I'm trying to share, and I wasn't seeing that within the community. I was hearing a lot of talk of it with fellow artists when I was in the scene. And I just decided to step out, continue to be myself, and do it my own way. And that's what I did. You can never take being a poet away from I. It is who I am. It is my love. It's my gift. So whether you see me on stage or you don't see me on stage, it is I. So my identity is solid, and I depend on my own experience and my own memories to kind of solidify that. So it was okay. I was okay stepping out, just doing my own thing, and let it all ride, I guess.
How do you, by the way, is there a website for this collective?
Absolutely. So my website is poetcue.com. It's poetcue.com. I kept my name, just changed the spelling. Right. So it's poetcue.com, and if you go there, you can keep up with everything that's coming up. We also have the Facebook at Q Kirk, and IQ for Instagram, and not Instagram, sorry, IQ for YouTube and SoundCloud, so you can keep up with the music. In terms of collective, what's happening is that in October, since moving to Toronto, I have a group of like-minded artists, fashion designers, visual artists, business owners, and so forth. We're all Rastafari ones who promote this aspect of one love, self-love, and so forth, and bringing unity back to earth. So what I decided to do is really pull everyone together and put on this art showcase, and did our first one in October. It was a great success, and so we're looking to continue to build and do more shows and aspects like that, and spread the love in a different way. It's you don't see many Rastafari fashion designers and Rastafari artists out there in Toronto too often, or in Canada period. So I want to promote that. I want to bring it to the world.
Very cool. What speak to us about the community, and for people who are not familiar, what is Rastafarianism? I know you spoke about it
yes.
for Liberty and so on. Just elaborate and kind of give us for those who might not understand or might have a misrepresentation, some certain negative stereotypes.
So Rastafari, and I was about to say ism. I'm serious from the ism aspect of it, but I'm a Rastafari, and for and I say I because it's a individual spiritual way of life. His Imperial Majesty for me is led me towards my African way of self by fulfilling the prophecy of balance, with the Empress, and with that gave me my life purpose, led me back to African knowledge, African studies, studying about myself, and really understanding that I have a duty within my way of life to restore that unity and that balance, simply by living up to being every aspect of goodness within humanity that you know to be possible. His life, his legacy does that for I. How I execute that is by living my art to the fullest, genuinely. How I execute that is treating each I that I meet with genuine love, sharing, and community. How I do that is by honoring nature and honoring the balance of creation, and a spiritual connection network between each I. Rastafarianism isn't something that I can say there's a doctrinal community of, because it's something that is individual, so your individual spirituality, but you have to understand who you are, what it means to be human, what it means to be a spiritual being of masculine and feminine energy within you have to understand those things. His Majesty is my example. His Majesty is my leader that brought me back to that knowledge, who put me on a path to seeking that knowledge and understanding that within myself. I don't tell anyone you must do this and this is the way for you to live, because this is how I live and I'm blessed. I'm saying simply, this is how I live and this is my experience, and this is the transformation you see because of it. Those simple things are what I give thanks for every day. I could never lose my devotion to the Most High of creation. I can't. I'm way too blessed with the simple blessings that this earth provides. To have a need for material things, to have lessons to value a spiritual self more than a material self. So when people present you with options and do you want this to make you bigger and brighter, or do you want to humble yourself and stick to the community because that's what you're supposed to do. That's how you share love and X, Y, and Z. Those simple things I value so much. I can never lose my devotion. But because it's an individual thing, it's not about a community. There's no sect. There's no whatever. I mean, we do have people who I would say celebrate the tradition in very different ways, and that's fine. For me, I'm an individual. And because of that, and that's the way that His Majesty taught me, that's the way that I live my life. And I love everyone, for it, who celebrates that liberty genuinely. But I would just say learn who you are as an African. The Western concept of God and creation and so forth, there's knowledge before what we know today, and that's knowledge that I go back to. And that brings peace. So I would just say learn, grow, understand who you are. I have my example and my belief system, and I'm ever so blessed. So,
over the years, who's been a key mentor or someone who's played a significant role but who's been there for you, and who's really framed and who's been a positive influence in your life, I guess is what I'm asking.
There are a bunch of people. A couple of them not alive. And 2 of them alive. And my parents cannot say that enough. They still, oh my goodness, Garmamie, why'd you do this?
You want me to pause?
No, it's okay. I'll walk through it. My parents disciplined me. I can't thank them enough for that, And they were young parents, right? So the thing with young parents is that you don't know adulthood yourself. You're still growing, right? But they also had the strength of their parents to kind of help and assist them. But not only were they young parents, but I was the only child. So it's not like they had a bunch of us where they had, okay, well, these ones turn out like this and this one you have to treat like this. So they only had whatever the lessons their parents told them, that this is how you're supposed to raise children, and they only had one kid to do with it. So they had really high standards for me, really high standards. And I knew no different because I was an only child, right? So my parents disciplined me. And to this day, I can have very open conversations with them and talk, and they guide me their own way. We're not alike, we're 3 very different people, but 3 people who love each other in our own way. And I love people who can still say, hey, Q, maybe don't do it that way. And I'm like, for real, because it means that you care for me, you know what I mean? And so I've always listened to them. We lived apart for a lot of my childhood, and because of that, I started to write. I used to write them letters when I was really young. And so my writing letters turned into, writing poetry and writing all these things. And so I'm learning to express myself because of how unique our family was. I owe thanks to that. I owe thanks to them for that. I can't even say that. I think about this question all the time, and I think about, is there a celebrity? Is there so forth? And I have a lot of really good mentors, but I can't think of any other people than my parents. You know, like all due respect to them. And the others aren't alive, and those are my grandfather on my father's side, the man that raised him, and then my grandmother, my mom's mother. She was so strict, but she was so loving, which is like the best part about her. Like you can't screw with her, but you know you'll get love. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's the one to like beat you and then come and say, "Why are you crying? You screwed up. You deserve that. Now give me a hug and don't do it again." You know. So, anyways, but and my grandfather always represented. Because this is a smart man, you know, smart and quiet and strong, and I just love him, you know, and yeah.
What you're going to Jamaica soon?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Yes, we can.
I'd like to know, what does that first of all, to tell us what you plan on doing there, and what it means for you to be going to this is your first time to this country, to Jamaica.
Yes.
You're originally from Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, absolutely.
And give us that story.
Wow. So, okay, how Jamaica happened. So, since coming forward to Toronto, you know that I've been on stage doing these programs and showcases, and I was invited by Rastafest to perform in a reggae play called Reasoning with My Sisters. And while doing that play, the founder of Rastafest invited me to Jamaica for Empress of Zion conference at University of West Indies for women against domestic violence. Beautiful opportunity, and so grateful and blessed that I'm able to share and show how my art can be used to shed light on this issue and used for upliftment for those who've gone through it. So I kind of sat back and took some time, and I realized that I have such a blessed opportunity to go to Jamaica for the first time. And I decided to turn this into my pilgrimage and poetry tour.
Pilgrimage and
poetry tour, yeah.
Cool.
So, and I'm saying that because, you know, His Imperial Majesty also paid a visit to Jamaica, and that's very significant for an emperor, an African emperor, to come to a tiny island in the Caribbean. Why? That place is special. You know, so it holds a very unique. It's a very unique and special trip for me on a spiritual level, which is the reason why I'm going to visit. But it's my poetry tour as well, because I want to connect with all the other dub poets that we have all out there in the diaspora. Because I'm looking really to bring this movement to Canada, right? So I need to find more collective, more ones like I had been doing it much longer than I have. You know what? So we kind of expand and share the love and bring this love to Canada in its own way. So this trip that's coming up in Jamaica, it's March 14th to 18th, and it's really just stay connected to Facebook and so forth to find out exactly where I've been, where I've been on stage, and what radio shows and so forth. But one of the other things that I'm going to do while I'm there is, one of the traditions that we have in Tobago is that if I'm staying at your house or you're inviting me over for a weekend or so forth, I'm not going to come empty-handed. We come with a gift of courtesy, give thanks, right? So I'm going to Jamaica the first time, and I'm going home. I can just say that for the first time. What gift do I bring? So I'm connecting with, I'll let you know exactly. By the time this is up, I'll confirm. I'm trying to confirm before the end of this day. But I'm looking to work with a center in Jamaica that provides after-school support, art support to young people within the community. Just do a quick kind of social media fundraising campaign and see if we can do a little supply drive. I can do a second suitcase drive and bring down to Jamaica so we can kind of lend a strength in that way and give back to the community, because, I mean, they've welcomed me and invited me for the first time, so I want to give thanks in that way. So find a place within the community that needs a little bit of strength and provide that the best way I can. So it's coming up. I'm really looking forward to it. Can't.
Where do you see yourself in 15 years from now?
Doing this in a different way is the best way to say it. I don't know.
We're traveling back in time.
Man.
We're back in the present, so I figured why not?
Let's go 50 years. 15, 1 5.
Yeah.
You know,
we're going back 15 years.
Yeah, about, sure for it. Okay. So You know what, G, like honestly, I realize I'm gonna be doing this, and which is simply just being myself. I am growing as a person. So putting a book together wasn't something I did before. I was just standing on stage, reciting my lines. I'm doing something else. Putting a CD wasn't something I did before. I just used to do hooks with my poems. Now I'm doing this, doing plays. I can't say last one, and now I'm narrating a play and like doing who knows,
Sure.
So
anything can happen.
Anything can happen is how I'm seeing it. To be completely honest with you, I do have big plans for Canada. I have huge plans for Canada, right? In terms of art and in terms of the love I want to showcase in this country. And I want to do that with dub poetry. So for the next little while, we're going to see that for sure. It's a genre of art that's in the diaspora, the Caribbean, African diaspora, for generations upon generations, expressing yourself, poetry on music, focuses heavily on the message, right? So you get too lost in the song aspect of it. That appeal, the producer that I'm working with now, Justin Limited, Justin's a young hip hop producer, right? He's not a Rastafari. He's not into my liberty. However, he's a very pure, genuine person. He loves music. That's his art, right? So when he creates a sound for I, it's like that's his own art piece. So to be able to bring those different aspects and different people together in celebration of this kind of movement is something that I'm really looking forward to. And it's actually my next major project. My current project is the after school program that I'm working with Scarborough Arts Council, working with them with that to put together for the community. But on top of that, really just taking the poetry on a next level for Canada, and it's really for the youth. I think we're doing this already. We've kind of been there, done that in kind of an aspect of it. But I don't know where they're going to take this because I just find it so cool. And if I can make something of it, I know that they're going to do something of it. But the important aspect of it is really staying strong to the message. So I'm working on what that will look like, how we can do that and maintain it. And so for the next little while, we'll work on that, and then we'll see where it goes. But I will continue to be me. I promise you that. I promise you that because it's the one prayer that I have said to myself for I don't know how many years is to maintain. One thing I always look for in life is balance within myself, balance within my relationships. And if I ever feel like I'm swaying and I'm doing something that stirs me, I always take a step back from it and meditate and make sure it's the right thing to do. So I'll make sure I keep doing that. So it's the right thing to do.
Well, Q, thank you very much for your time, and all the best with everything.
Give thanks, Garmamie. Give thanks for the love always. You know that. Give me some love. I want a hug now. My great-grandmother was a Douglas, but you could not tell. You see, she skinned it blacker than rubber, and she head always bang up well. But if it's one thing I could tell you, is that she never lied till the day she dead. And one day she tell me, she said, child, God is your savior, and I is a African till the day I dead again. Well, boy, let me tell ya, you see Tante's goat mouth like punching, and even would speak the truth, she does do well. So, one day I remember that once I keep doing that, in life, I never go straight. So, give thanks to the ancestors for their lessons, even today. Because I got to tell the truth till the day I die and watch the bad mind them go away.
That was awesome. That was fucking dope. Damn, I like that. That was cool, man. Thank you for listening to Conversations with Garmamie. For more information, visit garmamie.com. That's GARMAMIE.com. I'm also on Facebook at Conversations with Garmamie and YouTube at Conversations with G.ca.